Hi friends, in this video we will learn about the different ways in which you can create a tuple. But before we begin, you might be wondering what exactly is a tuple and why do we need it if we can use a list? To answer it, the core difference between a list and a tuple is the mutability of the respective objects. Lists are mutable whereas tuples aren't. This means that once initialized, a user cannot modify its value, which makes it useful to ensure the sanctity of data and guarantee that it is not being modified by the program. For example, when you fetch some data from a database, it is obtained in the form of a sequence of tuples to ensure that the sanctity of data is maintained and it is not modified by the program. Now let us take a real life example and create a tuple of attributes of a particular vehicle available for sale in a car dealership. The tuple of attributes or items are enclosed within parentheses and are assigned to a variable t. Each item is separated from the other using a comma. The first item is the string Toyota, which represents the make of the vehicle. The second item is the string Corolla, which represents the model of the vehicle. The third item is an integer 2019, which represents the year when the vehicle was manufactured. The fourth item is an integer 4, which represents the number of wheels. The fifth item is the string silver, which represents the color of the vehicle. The sixth and the last item is the boolean value true, which represents that the vehicle up for sale is brand new. Logically, this tuple conveys that there is a brand new 4-wheeler 2019 silver Toyota Corolla up for sale. You can notice that the items are of multiple data types: string, int, and bool. Apart from using parentheses, the built-in tuple function can also be used to create a new tuple. If no arguments are provided to the tuple function, an empty tuple is created. Let us create an empty tuple using the tuple function and assign it to t. If we display the contents of t, it outputs an empty tuple with no items. The tuple function can also be used to convert a string, list, set, or dict into a tuple. This process is also known as typecasting or type conversion. Let us go through some examples. First, we will convert a string ABCD into a tuple. Assign t as a tuple of string ABCD. Now, output t. As string is a sequence of characters, the created tuple contains each character A, B, C, and D as tuple items. Let us now convert a list into a tuple. Assign t as a tuple of list 1, 2, 3, 4. Now output t. A list is a mutable sequence which can be modified. Using the tuple function on a list converts it into an immutable collection which cannot be modified. Therefore, we get a tuple containing items 1, 2, 3, and 4. Similarly, we can convert a set containing elements 1, 2, and 3 into a tuple containing items 1, 2, and 3. When a dictionary is passed as an argument to the tuple function, it creates a tuple containing the keys of the dictionary. For example, let us take a dictionary string A is to 1, string B is to 2, and pass it as an argument to the tuple function. The tuple is created and assigned to variable t. Now, output t. The output tuple contains items string A and string B that are the keys of the dictionary. Let us move on to the next concept of singleton. When a tuple consists of only a single item, It is known as a singleton. Let us create a singleton T1 by including string high within parentheses. Similarly, let us create another singleton T2 by including int1 within the parenthesis. When we output T1, instead of displaying a tuple, it just outputs string high. Similarly, for T2, it just outputs 1. This is not what we had expected. Let us check out the types of the variables T1 and T2. Type of T1 returns string and type of T2 returns int. Although we tried to create a tuple of single item, we failed to do so as the Python interpreter treated the mentioned literals inside a parenthesis as expressions and evaluated these expressions into the value of literals and assigned them to T1 and T2. To create a singleton, a trailing comma should be added to avoid the Python interpreter from treating it as a value inside regular parentheses. Let us modify the previous example. Create a singleton T1 by including string high and a comma within parentheses. Similarly, create another singleton T2 by including int1 and a comma within parentheses. When we output T1, a tuple containing string high is displayed. Similarly, for T2, a tuple containing 1 is displayed. Let us go ahead and check out the types of the variables T1 and T2. Type of T1 returns tuple and type of T2 returns tuple.